My apologies to the hunting dogs. My name's Mr. Daniel Dean Pitta. I'm actually protesting the United States government right here. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Justice Department, National Security Division, and FBI, of course. 18 years of Fisa warrants gives me a reason why I should do this for the last year. 75 speeches plus throughout all Silicon Valley and 10 more in San Francisco and 5 more in the East Bay. That's a full year. With this activity of mine, I got the legal support of Meta. I got the legal support of Apple. I've had the American Civil coast to coast since 2020 using Dianne Feinstein's office to get them. I've had the support of the San Francisco American Civil branch since 2012 when I did a 4.5-hour deposition with the board of directors, Michelle Welch. I've been doing these speeches throughout Silicon Valley to get exposure on this and legal support and get this thing over with. You don't see no Fisa warrant victims in the news unless they're the Boston bomber or Butler, Pennsylvania type of endings. They're not using psychotropic drug torture no more for Manchurian candidates. They're actually using microwave, neurological weapons, and subliminal hypnosis. Any child in America could fall victim to this. Any idiot in America could fall victim to this. Is this what we want for our children's future? Wake up. God bless you. And now I'm putting the idiot letters back on that I wrote Dianne Feinstein 5 years ago to get the support of all these people up to this point. God bless America. God bless your children's future.
War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act. To Honorable Ms. Dianne Feinstein, U.S. Senator/San Francisco, California office. From Mr. Daniel Dean
It's a
Pitta.
hot day in the bloody
First,
sun.
Inquiry/summary,
God bless
January
everyone.
31st,
Beep, beep.
2020. Hired 3 attorneys, confessed to a California state crime for the
Going that
purpose
way.
of using
You have a
the
good day.
Alameda County District Attorney's Office to do my legal laundry.
I'm
The Department
not right
of
this
Homeland
second.
Security
Give me 5 and I'll
National
come back to you
Security
if you
Division
want.
of U.S. Justice
My
Department
apologies.
and
I thought you were
FBI
security.
turned me into their 911 laundromat.
God bless you, my friend.
Through the bylaws of
I hand out the
US
paperwork, but I
Patriot
got my
Act,
hands full.
The warrant for international
You
terrorism.
take care of your family now.
Domestic terrorism investigations. Over 16 years of congressional grand juries, federal grand juries, and letters of national security, with power of attorney over my civil rights, legal, financial, and medical. The U.S. Attorney's Office investigations, under ex parte prosecution, without the right to any attorneys or a legal defense, becomes a life-threatening investigation by the Department of Homeland Security, with no morality towards any human rights or civil rights, without any common love of humanity, without the love of any empathy. 16 years of slavery, inhuman cruelty.
1 more hour. I'm out of here, all right?
Through the
1 hour.
the U.S. Patriot Act and the tyranny of the Department of Homeland Security by weaponizing constitutional law and the Bill of Rights within a War Powers Act. Asterisk 2007 Fisa warrant investigation, CIA psychotropic drugs torture, and EMP microwave weapons. Asterisk 2008/2024 domestic terrorism investigations, CIA psychotropic drugs torture, and EMP microwave weapons. To Honorable Ms. Dianna Feinstein, U.S. Senator / San Francisco, California office. From Mr. Daniel Dean Pitta. Second inquiry / February 7th, 2020. After being put through the eye of the hurricane, all 9 rings of hell that dwell within the mind of the beast this day on earth, and with nerve-shattering shock and awe to the human body and psyche, I still love and believe in the people of the United States of America.
October 28th.
As of my last part
Google,
of this inquiry,
special
I would
events.
love to put this on the record today.
County levy.
Thanks for the memories of the
Stevens
U.S.
Creek.
Patriot Act.
I'm staying off the fucking
Only
sidewalks,
in America
man.
can this be sold
They get
to all
nasty over here. They
Americans
threaten
under
me.
the beguiling
But then the cops have to
consequences of
threaten
national
them. I'm tired of
security.
this. Google
Forfeit
is
any
stupid.
civil liberties to this act.
I guess they got a lot of
Imprison the
contracts they
people
like
of
to
this nation
protect.
to the cruelty of tyranny. To condone this unbridled act of absolute power over the people is to condone the act of slavery without the proper checks and balances within the interest of due process. Without more congressional oversight and review of all bylaws of the U.S. Patriot Act for Fisa warrants. Without raising the bar to a higher standard for all Fisa. Warrant applications
They gave me a lot of spec
investigations,
today. I
and
ain't
for
coming
more
over here.
oversight and review by the Fisa court. By restricting the use of any Fisa warrants before a thorough examination of all applications to qualify them for the use as a Fisa warrant, or any general warrants, by the Fisa court under ex parte prosecution, will mainly lose sight of the spirit of the law within this act itself, and cause more harm than any meaningful benefit to the nation's security and safety of the American people and their civil liberties. In my honest opinion as a victim of the U.S. Patriot Act and its bylaws, the Fisa court system should be saddled and bridled with more congressional oversight and review for basic human rights and civil rights violations regarding any Fisa warrant application and investigation. The need to overhaul and maintain the integrity of the bylaws of the U.S. Patriot Act and the Fisa court in good faith with the American people and the national security of the United States of America. Page 1. The most important issue at hand is to maintain and uphold the sanctuary of this highest court. Beyond the politics of falsehood, and to enhance and to perfect the duty of the Fisa court for the security of the nation, and more so to the overall safety of the American people and the U.S. Constitution, while under this War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act. It's very clear and self-evident that there is a need for absolute guarantee for the protection of human rights and civil rights while under this act of Congress. I am petitioning you and your office staff through this inquiry to aid me in my request for due process of my unalienable constitutional rights and my God-given human rights. To any attorney on earth that can free me from the bonds of slavery and the tyranny of inhuman suffering, EMP high-tech torture, and psychotropic drug torture. Quotations. Abraham Lincoln. Asterisk, do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Frederick Douglass. Asterisk, I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others. rather than to be false, and to incur my own abhorrence. To Honorable Ms. Dianne Feinstein, U.S. Senator / San Francisco, California office. From Mr. Daniel Dean Pitta. Third, inquiry / February 18th, 2020. From the birth of a nation to the American Civil War, from the Insurrection Act of World War I to the National Security Act of 1947, post-World War II, and even during the McCarthy hearing and the Church Committee, to this day in history under the U.S. Patriot Act. This nation has survived many challenges under the right leadership of a free republic. This War Powers Act / U.S. Patriot Act has become a total nightmare, under the supervision from the Department of Homeland Security and National Security Division of U.S. Justice Department and FBI. A true conflict of interest within constitutional separations of power of the U.S. Constitution itself. Article 1 versus Article 2, and then under Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution. The uncharted ground of this War Powers Act / U.S. Patriot Act, and the U.S. federal court system in the shadow of this act. The Fisa court itself has a conflict of interest, the sanctuary of this high court to be neutral to all politics during the Fisa court period of reviewing all Fisa warrant applications, and into the appeal process by the National Security Board of Review for any application of a Fisa warrant. The layers of review, from FBI HQ / DOJ to FBI National Security Attorney's Board of Review, to FBI Field Office, FBI Law Clerks for Fisa warrants applications, and signed by an FBI Deputy Director, and then signed by Attorney General of the United States of America. Page 2. The watchdogs of America's national security and the safety of the United States and the American people. God bless these institutions of the United States government and the loyalty of their employees for the best job possible in the interest of the American people. God bless them and their families, amen. But in the interest of overkill, to the American people's civil liberties. Any institutions that enshrine itself in a culture of obey and advance, without any moral consciousness, within dictatorial law, under the U.S. Patriot Act, should always have more congressional oversight and review through the Fisa court for Fisa warrants applications process and investigations. I personally endorse this as a victim to this War Powers Act / U.S. Patriot Act, and also a victim of psychotropic drug torture / EMP microwave weapons, condoned under 2007 Fisa warrant investigation, and the continuous use under domestic terrorism investigations 2008 2024. I strongly endorse the use of the ACLU attorneys as a neutral third party to aid the Fisa court in all applications of Fisa warrants as pre-approved national security attorneys, to aid in the reviewing process of all Fisa warrants application and any resubmitting of any Fisa application from previous reviews to the same Fisa court judges before, no more musical chairs, with the judges of the High Court, and through any appeal process with the National Security Board of Review. For more transparency and clarity through congressional oversight, to aid the Fisa Court's judges in their independent decision before this High Court. The Fisa Court's judges have already endorsed the use of the ACLU attorneys to be used as part of the national security procedure from the beginning of any review of Fisa warrant applications, to advocate in the interest of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, to protect the safety of the American people and their civil liberties while under this War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act. As a victim of this act that shadows my life and enslaves me to its tyranny of inhuman cruelty, all I ask for is the right to an attorney, Mr. Benjamin Wisner, from the ACLU New York chapter. In so many words, give me liberty or give me death, to paraphrase from my past inquiries and to add my honest opinion. After being put through the eye of the hurricane, within the mind of the beast, all 9 rings of hell of torment, with psychotropic drug torture and EMP microwave high-tech torture, as a way to undermine me and to set me up under this War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act, Fisa warrant, and domestic terrorism investigation. For over 16 years of congressional grand jury and federal grand juries and California state grand juries, under ex-parte prosecution, and more so to weaponize my civil rights and human rights, under the 9/11 money tree of tyranny, to circumvent the U.S. constitutional rights of all Americans by this War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act investigation. I am abolitionist to all forms of slavery, to all forms of tyranny, to all forms of inhuman cruelty and torture. Under the moral principles of all humanity and the universal morals of all gods of Mother Earth. And as I said before, I still love and believe in the people of the United States of America and our democratic republic. Closing quotations. Abraham Lincoln. Asterisk America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Asterisk God must love the common people, because it made so many of them. Page 3. From the base camp of Operation Archangel Nonviolent Solution to Homeland Security and the National Security Division, U.S. Justice Department/FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force under War Powers Act/U.S. Patriot Act. patriotactvictim@gmail.com. patriotactvictim@gmail.com. Special thanks, New York ACLU Attorney on Record, Mr. Ben Wisner, SF ACLU Board of Director, Ms. Michelle Welch, Amnesty International USA/New York and Oakland, California. Moral support, as I say, the second coming of Jesus Christ, has been postponed for eternity, in the interest of national security.